And we're back again. We just ran through the daily double at Gulfstream Park for this weekend with the Fountain of Youth. Vinny, we're back looking at Aqueduct as we look at the daily double reading into the Gotham Stakes. I'll be honest, Vinny, when the field first came out, I had to do a double take and go. I don't remember any of these horses, unfortunately. I try to
It's
keep
not
up with all of them, but I had to, rack my brain over who these horses were. And we'll get to that race in a second. First up is race number 7 on Saturday, the Busher Stakes for fillies 3-year-olds, going a mile on the dirt, a field of 9.
Yep.
I once again was running through, as I talked about in the last race with tax implications. I was running through some of the field here, and I got through the one Liam in the dust, and I kind of didn't have to go beyond that. One handicapping tool I use here, Vinny, is on the left side. This will highlight races in the past that have the same purse number or more. Okay, so I can really quickly fly through my past performances and see at least the purses, right? It doesn't necessarily
Yep.
mean that the class is the same, but I can just go through quick and look at this. So right off the bat, I see 3 highlighted races. Well, as I continue to go through the field, there you go. I got 1 on the 6th, which was a grade 2 last time out, and that was it. So
Yep.
I saw 3 highlighted races right off the bat with Liam in the dust. This is the Brissett trained with Luis Juan Machado aboard, a horse that finished 3rd in the Demoiselle last time. But Vinny, I tried to do a show 2 weeks ago, and a horse that I was so excited to see run was Ballerina d'Oro, who this horse has run into last time, finishing 3rd. Ballerina d'Oro finished 2nd. But also Muhima and Immersive and Quick Kick and Quiet Side. You're seeing kind of the names and the PPs that make me think
Yep.
Liam in the Dust not only has the races that are highlighted, but has been going against some pretty strong fields. I put this horse on top here. How about yourself?
I did as well. I like how the speed figures. I mean, you can take out the Alcibiades. I forget what happened, but she had a ton of trouble that day in the Alcibiades. But you take that race out, and this horse has pretty much improved figures every single start. Um, like you said, Ballerina d'Oro. I believe she's on the undercard of the Fountain of Youth card.
Yeah.
I think she's in that. She's in one of those fields, and I'm pretty sure she's going to be the favorite there. So yeah, I am excited to see this one come back. I think she looks very tough. I just like that she's been improving, with the exception of that one Alcibiades effort, which I think you can just draw a line through that Alcibiades for her. But you look at the other 4 races, and she keeps getting a little bit better. Not giant improvements, but improvements enough that I'm willing to take a shot on her.
Yeah, it kind of brings the experience to a field. They're going a mile. Some of the other horses, not all of them, but you got horses that are really lightly raced. So the competition, of course, there's questions. You decided to use 2 on your ticket. Who else did you go with?
I went all the way to the outside with Sharp Smile for Brad Cox. Kind of the exact same reason that I liked the Liam in the Dust. This horse just kind of slowly keeps improving. Like nothing amazing, but just kind of keeps getting a little bit better each time. I think the outside post position will help this one a little bit. In Manny and New York right now has just been on fire. So I forget how many wins he had earlier today, but he keeps winning. So kind of hard to rule that out. And Brad Cox in New York is still like well over 20%. It just kind of seemed like a logical horse here for a double, especially as you alluded to with the Gotham. It is a field of kind of a lot of unknowns. So
Take a shot where you can. The
yep.
other horse I used on my ticket was Volleyball Princess, the horse sired by Motown. Last out, his run at 6.5 and 7 furlongs. The first 2 races were at Parks, but came to Aqueduct on the stakes on February 1st, and really put that field away. Winning by 10 lengths is what stood out to me, but also the jockey lost the crop in the stretch there. So that was a hand ride. Winning by 10 lengths was a very impressive victory at 10-1. You're getting the price of 8-1 for trainer that I'm not 100% familiar with, but actually has some pretty positive stats there. 21% going 3rd off the layoff. and the jockey and Motown for first route are both positive ROI and win percentages as well. So, the last speed figure in blue circled there means that it's the highest in the race. Obviously, I'm always cautious of that, especially for 3-year-olds, that they sometimes pop, and then can they repeat that, or you see a huge drop off, and sometimes they can get overbet by that figure, right? But
Yep.
this isn't a horse that I really want to get beat by, especially if this horse gets out on the lead like it did last time and just says goodbye to a field. So I will use the number 4 Volleyball Princess on my ticket. Was there concerns there for you, or you
Yeah,
think the
this was actually the last horse off my ticket. I saw this. Yeah, actually I liked the last race was great. The last work. I don't know how trustworthy the time is, but
hmm,
58-5 is that's a series that's moving. Uh,
hmm.
yeah, I almost use this horse. I am hoping that there is some remnants of other speed here that this horse doesn't get out on the easy lead. But this is easily one that I can. If I'm going to lose to a horse, I feel like this is one that I could easily lose to just because of how good that last race it was, and if she really does get out, if she can get out by herself, it's like I might be in trouble.
So let's move on to the race that we did talk about a little bit in the field of 10 for the Kentucky Derby points on the line at the Gotham Stakes for Saturday, March 1st. Like I said, I had to go through a little bit with a fine tooth comb to remember some of the horses that didn't jump right off the page at me like they might have in the Fountain of Youth. Sand Devil obviously comes in as a pretty legit threat at 9-5. A horse that won is 3 for 3, including a 12-length victory, 2 back, and a stakes victory last time out at Aqueduct, going 7 furlongs. Has a victory at the mile. They are going a mile here. Where did you end up?
Well, I ended up using Sand Devil. The last two races have just been very impressive. Rice, I feel like, doesn't usually throw a lot of horses on the Derby trail. So when she does, it's like, all right, they're probably they're probably not bad. Um, that was kind of the main reason. I also don't really love either Brad Cox runner here. I know the Sacrosanct, the 4 is going to take money. Have not. The horse is 4 for 4, but I have not been impressed by him. I think he's just beaten bad fields, and he's just slightly above average. So I would much rather take the short price on Sand Devil, which could bite me. Uh, and Flood Zone, I just don't think is great. So I thought Sand Devil just kind of fits here. The, that was more or less where I landed on.
Yeah, I mean, those last 2 speed figures that we look at Equibase here really stood out, right?
Hmm.
Even all 3 of them, 97, 106, 103, a horse that can get on the front end.
Yep.
I was just looking up as you mentioned, Linda, because I remember the horse she had last year was El Grande O,
Hmm.
who was the horse that she had entered and didn't perform that day. That was the day that Deterministic won the Gotham.
Yep.
Don't remember how well he's come back. He's had a couple
Who
strong
deterministic?
El Grande O.
Oh, I don't. I honestly, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, Linda's just one of those ones that like every now and again she has a run, like she'll throw a runner in one of these races, in these Derby prep races. But like that's not usually who she trains for. The Derby ones, the owners that are like really pressing for the Derby. So when she does throw one on, like I think El Grande O finished like third last year. It wasn't like a bad run. Deterministic just looked great, if I remember correctly. But just like when she does throw them in, it's usually because she knows they're better than just running in like New York restricted races. So we'll see how we'll see how good the horse is. But I mean, what won by I liked how the battled last time out and still came out on top, and then the 12 length win the race before was just a dominant effort.
Absolutely. As we take a look through the field, I just couldn't, there's horses that are really lightly raced here, right?
Yeah,
Just
I
one and
used
two
that.
times and a
Yeah,
95, a 90 on the 7, 70 on the 6, and I couldn't really come to agreement with any of these other ones on taking a shot. I landed chalky here, I'll admit it. I probably should just pick one, but I used Sacrosanct as well. The horse is 4 for 4.
Yeah.
Type of place where he's got a victory at Aqueduct, he's got a victory at the distance. It is Brad Cox, it is Manny Franco. Not going to get cute. I'll just use the two who I think are the best and try to get by that way.
Yeah, I tried to get cute. I used Sand Devil, then I went to the outside and I used the Chad Brown, the number 9 for Chad Brown. Garamond, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
How you pronounce it? Probably not. I'm probably pretty bad at that. I'm a sucker for the Juddmonte homebred horses, but the main thing is that like this horse, Damaged by Tappet, Sire's Uncle Mo. Like if there's one horse in here that I am confident can get 2 turns, well, not 2 turns, but like at least this
The distance.
the mile and an eighth. Oh, oh yeah, the Gotham's only 1 mile now. Yeah, but like I feel like this is a horse that's probably going to be on the Derby Trail, like at least for Chad, if he runs well here. I think eventually this horse ends up being a turf horse, though. The dam side I thought had a lot more turf than the sire, but we'll we'll see. I feel like this horse is definitely going to get the distance.
Vinny
So
and I will hold out hope for the daily double at Aqueduct. I'm going to go 1-4 with the 4-5. It'll only cost you $4. I screwed up on your price there, Vinny. Your ticket's only $4. I forgot to change it. So
it's all right.
1959 for Vinny. So he gets a. Unless you want to toss in one more. Is there anyone more that who was last on your
No,
ticket in Gotham?
no.
Anybody? Or
Oh, the
you're good?
Gotham. Oh, I probably would have taken a risk on like Flood Zone or something and left the other. That's kind of why I cut it down to 2. Was like I was like, oh, I'd have to use. I feel like I'd have to use both Coxes here, and I don't want to use both. So I'm just gonna use. I'm gonna cut both of them out and hope I'm right that neither is fantastic. Either way, I am not. Of the Derby preps this weekend, I feel like this is the one that will get talked about the least.
Yeah, you got obviously a nice contingent out in actually a pretty nice version of the San Felipe in San Renita, even though you get some nice Bafferts to pay attention to
Yeah.
out there. A horse like Rodriguez, who had a very similar move to Burnham Square his last time, which was something that Sean pointed out. So all good, all good. We decided to attack New York because
Yep.
it's our territory. So
Yep.
thanks for joining again in the hot seat here on Doubling Down. Thank you to everybody else for joining back in. We'll try to get back into a consistent flow here on Doubling Down as we lead up to Derby. He's Vinny. I'm Colin. Drop in the chat who you like for these 2 Doubling Downs. And until next time, good luck, everybody.